Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be. You are watching Sketching Past Midnight Live, the show where we talk about all things comics, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, pop culture, and everything in between, and in particular, things that go bump in the night, and especially me drawing comics, sketching, just doing whatever, comic book wise, always doing things comic booky wise. I'm here in the old dungeon, the old studio on Olympus Mons, Mars, if you believe that. On this, what is this, Saturday? Something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I guess it's Sunday now, 4 minutes now after the 2 o'clock hour. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I guess it was overdue. It was overdue. And so what time I pontificate here and raise my boom stand, my handy dandy boom stand, give you possibly a better gander at the glory that is this I don't know, this layout here. And I don't know why there is such a problem with the light here. We should be able to see everything clearly. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I have 3 lights here. I got a light here, a light there, and a light here. And it should be like everything should be so well illuminated. And I don't know what the deal is with that. So for anyone just now tuning in, and anyone that tunes in later, and also in the handy dandy replays, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. So I'm kind of getting organized here. I guess I'll show you a few things here and there, and then we'll get started sketching. Now, I have no weird, scary news tonight. This is very impromptu. I just kind of wanted to get this out of the way. Sketching past midnight. It is now a thing that is in my way. What am I looking for? I had my sketchbook over there. Oh, I got my other drawings. Okay. So I guess what I'd like to do first is kind of show you all what I'm working on here lately. I had penciled and inked my 28 pages of the Wildcat anthology that I've done so far. We've got the 8 pages that I did with the magnificent orator, writer B.W. Smith. And, we worked together on a Wildcat story. And I also have written a 20-page Wildcat story that basically ties everybody else's stories together. You see, there's like 5 or 6 other contributors to the anthology. And I thought it'd be neat if I could tie all their stories together into one cohesive storyline. And if you ever seen the heavy metal anthology, not the Heavy Metal anthology, I'm sorry, the Heavy Metal cartoon. Heavy Metal cartoon based off of the Heavy Metal magazine. You would know that there is a floating orb that just kind of does its thing. It's just all over the place, and it goes from one story to the next. It ties all the stories together. So I wanted to do something sort of similar, but not quite. Now, I'm not one that is shy from ripping things off. All right. I just want to tell good stories. All right. Well, I don't actually want to rip anybody off, but I'm not a person that's ashamed to kind of wear my, influences on my sleeves. So what we're looking at now is, other than the 20 pages I was talking about and the 8 pages with B.W. Sims, I am doing another, I guess it's going to be 12 pages in total. And this is the Wildcat Chainsaw Ninja story. The other 2 pages that preceded this one, they're in the portfolio, and and again, this was an impromptu stream, so they're just kind of languishing around. But I'll hold this up for you and let you kind of get a gander at it. I really like this double page spread. It does have problems, mainly the ninjas, and maybe a few, more than a few anatomical issues. But overall, I really like how this came out. And the interesting thing is, if I can talk comics with you, if I can talk shop, I have kind of like my own way that I draw rubble and all that stuff, But my rubble is starting to change and go in interesting places. And I think where I really want to go with it is, I want my rubble to kind of be like a mix of things. I like this type of rubble, but I also want to do rubble that is kind of more Jim Lee-ish like. So anyway, we've got this page here, and what ends up happening is this dude here, who I've not named yet, he basically calls off his chainsaw ninjas because he's going to take on Wildcat himself, and so what we get, in a pretty lame way, I guess, we get these 2 pages, and let's zoom in here manually. So we get him approaching Wildcat, and I see how I changed my rubble. It's a lot different. Here, I've got this type of rubble, which is kind of George Perez-y, maybe. Might be wrong on that, but it's what it puts me in mind of. Now this rubble is kind of looks almost like lava rock, but it's kind of Jack Kirby-ish, and that came out entirely by accident. One of the last pages on the B.W. Sims story, it called for a fire where 2 cybernetic polar bears were being roasted over open fire in a igloo, and so I was drawing rocks around the fire or whatever, and they kind of came out like this, and I really liked that. It was a happy accident, so I just kept doing it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense in the context of drawing it on the page. It looks cool. All right, so anyway, we see here we got this page, and it's one of the few times where where I feel like I've done one of these long panels. And if you ever noticed, a lot of times comic book creators, when they do their long panels, they're trying to emphasize like the distance from the top of the panel down to the bottom, because they're trying to show you something big, and they pan out. And normally I don't do too hot with that, but I feel like with this, I did fairly well on that panel anyway. It's not the best rendered panel, but I like the rubble, and my buildings are starting to look a little bit more realistic, so that's cool. I like that. And we've got this unnamed dude who, for lack of a better word, we'll call him Tom Selleck Samurai. Tom Selleck Samurai taking it to Wildcat and giving some type of ominous speech where Wildcat is basically saying, "Bring it." Which brings us to this page where we see in the top three panels, he is taking it to Wildcat, and then we see like this intense punching. And the idea behind this is I figured I was going to put some narration in here explaining that it's more than one punch, it's several punches. Now, some of you might say, why didn't you just show him doing several punches? Well, great question. The reason that I did not do that is because I'm trying to wrap this story up because I've got a bunch of stuff that I need to get done, and so I really need to get focused and start getting stuff done. You know, I can't be drawing this for the next 10 years or so. You know. And let's see what's the deal here. It's like I'm noticing some mistakes. I'm trying to figure stuff out here. What the crap is that? I'll have to study that later when I'm not on air. Trying to figure stuff out. I feel like this here needs to be in shade. And then I feel like this is Wildcat's arm. I don't even know what I draw, really. I know he's laying on his side. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. So anyway, we got, I know you can't really tell, but that's Wildcat there, vanquished by Tom Selleck Samurai, right? And then here we get this middle panel, which is pretty cool, except for except for that. That's probably the most terribly drawn back slash legs, arms, anatomical issues there to the extreme. But whatever, you know, they all can't be winners. But having said that, I thought this turned out pretty good, you know. And then we get this bottom panel, which I'm pretty happy with it. I do have one issue with it. I'm not going to say what it is because if you don't notice it, then it's not really a problem. But really like how the rendering on this turned out. I thought it looked pretty nice, top notch. So basically, you know, Wildcat's getting up after taking his beating, and he's like, okay, you know, now it's my turn. It's my turn. You had your fun. Now it is my turn to turn up the heat. So let me see here. Where are we at? Okay, I think I know what order we're going in here. So here we see Wildcat bringing the heat, you know, trying to work on my lettering more and wanting to incorporate more of a what do you call it? I really like the lettering that was done in Walt Simonson's, however you pronounce his last name, Walt Simonson's Thor. I was wanting to do some of that lettering, you know, trying to learn that. And then we see Wildcat's claws actually, you know, doing the cat thing where they're extending. And then we get this middle panel, which I'm very happy with. But I just wish I could, you know, make him pop a little bit more. And the only trouble is, you know, I don't want to go crazy with the rendering when I don't know fully what I'm doing, and I actually muck it up and I make it look worse. So sometimes you just kind of have to stop and move on. And now we got Wildcat vanquishing Tom Selleck Samurai, and a fairly decent, you know, silhouette here. Pretty happy with that. Nice panel overall, I think. And then a not so nice panel, but I think it does the job. You know, you got Wildcat, and I was kind of wanting to do like a worm's eye view, and he's stumping, getting ready to stump Tom Selleck Samurai. And let's see, we've got here in this panel the introduction of Fish Boy. You know, so not a lot of you know a lot about Fish Boy. I know you've heard me ramble throughout the years about Wildcat. You've seen the defunct, never published first issue of Wildcat from the first failed Indiegogo. And you've seen numerous pages that I've worked on since then of Wildcat. But you don't know much about Fish Boy. Fish Boy is kind of a new creation. Came about like last year, year before that. I'm not for sure. And he's still not that fleshed out yet. Still working on it. So I figured, why not throw him into the story? I just thought it was interesting. You know, just some way to spice it up even more. And we've got Wildcat, and he is stumping on Tom Selleck Samurai. Pretty happy with this sound effect. It's not what do you call his Walt Simonson's Thor sound effects, but I'm also a fan of the sound effects in books like Sam Keefe's The Max. I like that playful stuff. And here we got this pretty cool Gene Colan looking brooding Fish Boy. Looks nothing like how I want actually try to render Fish Boy, which is a lot more playful. But I promise I didn't look at anything when I drew this. I just I drew it like that. That's how it came out, you know. Pretty happy with that, you know. I do wish that I did it more lanky, like how I wanted to draw him. But, you know, again, I got to move on. I can't, you know, spend like 10 years working on this. Then we see a little bit more of Fish Boy here. And so basically Fish Boy is kind of watching all this, and he's, you know, he thinks Wildcat is the bad guy, and he's going to try to save Tom Selleck Samurai. And then we see here, basically there'll be some type of caption here where Fish Boy is yelling at Wildcat to stop or whatever, getting his attention, as Wildcat is continuing to pummel his victim. And and then the page that, well, let me show you. There's actually a page that's missing. Give me 1 second. Hang on. I'll find that page. What the hell happened here? Everything turned yellow. well, take a look at this. I drew this as part of my how to draw sexy women video. I wanted to kind of prove that I'm not full of crap. I mean, it's not the best looking storm in the world. It's not the best looking sexy woman, but I wanted to prove that my methods have some validity to them. So I felt that it was necessary to actually draw something to, you know, instead of like these little figurines. But anyway, the next page is this with 2 ladybugs on it. They gotta go. Gotta get out of here. And so we see Fish Boy swinging down, and he's ready to have a great time. I got the letters out here, you know, the extraordinary Fish Boy. So that's going to be pretty cool, I think. That will be the page after this one. Yeah. Not the best looking page, but, you know, whatever. I'm trying. Let me throw this over here. I don't like how it yellowed here. I don't know what the deal is with that. It's weird. It doesn't matter. Because, you know, when I transfer everything digitally, you know, it can get cleaned up just like that. Okay, so let's put this and this together. Now we're on this page. And before I go any further, kind of explaining what it is that we're looking at, I think I better check and see if there's any comments. There might not be. I don't know. And also I'll go very quickly through the sketchbook. All right, let's see comments. This Bane Comics writes, a long time and no stream. Good to see you there, old buddy. Good to see you too. I just I don't know. It's like there's been spurts where like every day where I've been working on this book, and then there's been like sometimes I'll go like 3 or 4 days without doing anything. I must confess, which is really bad. I don't know. Might not be that long of a stretch, but most of the time I am working on this stuff every day. And I guess the reason I haven't done a Sketching Past Midnight, because I feel like everybody that watches or listens to my show, I want to give you, I want to entertain you. You know, I want to make it entertaining. And I fail. You know, I feel like I come up short on that, and it's really annoying to me because I want to put together an extravaganza, and I still haven't got that together. I need to work on my presentation and all this other stuff, all the bells and whistles. So that's another reason why I haven't done it. I still enjoy doing Sketching Past Midnight, but I want to make sure that everybody that watches and listens, that they enjoy it too. So that's the only reason I don't do it more often. And I've also been trying to grow my channels, my YouTube and my Odyssey channel. Check out Odyssey if you haven't already. And I'm having pretty good success on Odyssey. I'm getting ready to do another draw sexy women video, and this one's going to be the double arrowhead video, or what I like to call the junk in the trunk video. So that's coming up hopefully sometime soon. So what are we looking at now? If you've noticed, Fish Boy was swinging around or something like that in the air, and then I thought it'd be interesting, be fun to just show him crashing. It didn't work out at all like how he hoped, so he actually fell instead of coming in really heroic like. And then in this panel, this panel would have been really cool if I knew what I was doing. Like, I just keep having a problem with this leg. No matter how I draw this leg, it just doesn't. I don't know what the hell's the matter with that leg. But anyway, everything else I'm pretty much fine with overall. You know, looks good. I got Wildcat tossing away Tom Selleck Samurai, and then Fish Boy's having a good grief moment. You know, he's having his Charlie Brown. And then the next thing that we see is we got Wildcat here, and he's approaching Fish Boy, and he's having a conversation. And then we see a big thing of Fish Boy's head, where we see in his eye, this is Fish Boy's eye here, we see a reflection of Wildcat getting ready to wind up the punch. And then he executes this sloppily drawn punch where Fish Boy easily dodges it. So that's the page that we're on right now, right this moment. Oh, one last thing, and then we'll get to sketching. Okay, we'll get to sketching. I always like to do these like little show and tells, kind of get everybody caught up to where I'm at and what I've been doing. Let's see. I got this. I know you can't really see, but we've got Super American issue #1, and I'm kind of putting the skeleton in for that first issue. getting prepared to when it comes time to start working on it. And I got these things that were taught to me by the gracious, talented orator of Lucifer Storm, and he taught me the lock system and the story embryo, massively helpful. And 9 times out of 10, when I do these things now, I kind of do that because it helps me, gives me something to work from. And so, my lead is Super American. His objective is to save Washington, D.C. And the climax of the story is going to get in a battle with this character named, well, I'm not going to say what his name is because YouTube is very funny about stuff. And then he defeats people that are National Socialists. And the surprise twist, the Baroness arrives with covert shock troops who are being welcomed by American National Socialists. I have to speak in code and actually use the English translations. So YouTube don't cause me no grief. And here we got the story embryo, which I've not filled out yet. So, which goes into more detail of what's going on here. So I got that. Also have this, which I think many of you may find really interesting. Let me answer this comment. Well, my nose. Let me answer this comment right quickly. Our fantastic friend Keith Harper writes, "Never heard of the lock system. It's pretty cool." I've never heard of it either, but then again, I'm not a writer aficionado. I would say, sorry guys, that 50% of everything I know about writing comes from Lucifer Storm, which you can find on YouTube, and which I've learned a great deal more since then, mostly from watching documentaries on YouTube about writing for movies and screenplays and that sort of thing. But anyway, the lock system is pretty cool because it is, and I encourage anybody to take notes, but lock stands for you got to have a lead. Who's the lead of your story? What is their objective? And you're going to have a climax in the story. You need to have a knockout ending. Now this point right here, the surprise twist, I added that I don't think it's part of the, I just put that in there to spice things up, but that's all the lock system is. Who's your lead? What's the objective? What's the climax? And the knockout ending. And you can take and break that up into like 4 parts, or whatever, or 3 parts where you have a beginning, the middle, and the end of your story. I don't know if Storm came up with that, or if that's something from all his years of research. But I do know that the story embryo is from, I think, Dan Harmon, who is one of the writers for Rick and Morty. And what's that other show? It's on Hulu. That's another awesome cartoon. Gosh, I don't know. And he's done a few other shows, live action shows, so I can't remember what they are. But it's extremely helpful to have a system before you start writing, and it's like something that you could go by, where you don't feel so lost and you actually have more confidence when you go in to write. All right, so I wanted to show my sketchbook right quick, and I also want to show this. I'll start with this first. I got this in the mail, got it off Amazon. It's about this thick. And it's a great book. It's 100 and looks like 176 pages, and I highly recommend this book. It's not a chore to read. It's somewhat entertaining, but more than anything, it's very informative, and whether it's comics or writing in general. I think you can glean a lot from this. Um, After you get past the what I feel is kind of the pointless introduction, honestly, and I'm not being insulting when I say that. It's kind of like just kind of, I don't know. I think some comic book writers feel very insecure about writing for the comic book medium because there's some people that look down on them, like some school teachers look down on janitors or something. But it's like I don't know. It's a weird insecurity because he comes across as somewhat insecure at first about writing comics, just like how Stan Lee used to be. I think Stan Lee used to kind of fudge around the corners when people would ask him what he did for a living there for the longest time. Uh, but anyway, so we get to this part where do they get those crazy ideas? And he talks about how he comes about his ideas. Um, like for example, this right here. This was an issue of Hulk. What does it got it written here? No, but this is from the Incredible Hulk back when he was part of the Pantheon or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. And back when he was the Smart Hulk. And basically, I think Peter David and Dale Keown, they had a flight that took them over the Colorado Rocky Mountains. And as they were flying above the Rockies, Peter David looked out the window and he saw these mountains, and he thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if there was like something that would be a great place to have a secret base inside of a mountain. And so, just like that, that was his inspiration for putting that in the Incredible Hulk. And so, and then he has these exercises that you can do um, that you can do to challenge yourself and to take his advice and implement it in some way. So I like that. I like these little exercises. Um, I don't know. He's got a lot of stuff here. I'm on page 36, and I've been taking notes. This show's not what you guys thought it was going to be. So I've taken my own notes, and there's still a lot of stuff that I missed that I didn't write on here. But Peter David's writing tips, and this is all the way up to page 36. If you have writer's block, write anything. Start a new story, a poem, a blog. And tip number 2: all stories boil down to man against man, man against himself, a man against his environment. Number 3: write what you know. Number 4: let your imagination run completely wild and ask yourself, what if? Number 5: don't write one-sided position pieces. Present the opposition, which I thought was pretty interesting. This book was written in 2000. Oh gosh, lots of foreshadowing here. When was this? When was this turd written? Hang on, I'm looking at the what do you call that when you the copyright and stuff? Copyrighted in 2006. So, which I think it's interesting because in this book he talks about like regardless of what the position is, um, even if it's something that everybody agrees that it's unanimously bad, you can't write your comic book in a one-sided or your story in a one-sided way. You need to present the opposition's point of view. And um, and the example he gives is this issue of Supergirl that he written. Supergirl issue number 23, Tension in the Air, yes, starring Steel. And I'm trying to remember what I read about it. I think what it was is in this story, basically at it must have been a college campus or something like that. There was a person who was a guest speaker at the college who was basically talking about how they believe certain minority groups are inferior and destructive and all this other stuff. And so Steel shows up to kind of shut this person down. Um, he sees them as a bad person. And Supergirl shows up with an impossible task because she believes that freedom of speech does not apply to just speech that we like, but also speech that we hate. Because if we don't protect the speech that we hate, then eventually the speech that we like will also go away. Because who defines what's good speech and what's bad speech? And it's culturally changing all the time. So so there's these two-sided debates going on here, and so that's kind of what he's talking about there. And I thought it was so interesting reading that, where he's basically saying, don't preach to your audience and stuff like that. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But anyway, don't write one-sided position pieces. Present the opposition. Number 6, the hero is defined by the challenges he must overcome, and the villain presents those challenges. So basically, the villain in all these stories, they're the one that's mostly in most of these stories. The villain is the one that's actually doing stuff. They're the ones that push the story forward most of the time, and pretty much the hero is just he exists to do only one thing, which is to thwart the villain. Which I think you probably could flip that on its head, and it has been done before. But it seems like most stories, and especially the way he presents it here, is that it's the hero just thwarts the villain. Number 7, a villain tends to have an aggressive goal, and he drives the plot, which is pretty much what I said. Number 8, villains can be sympathetic. Number 9, what are the villain's motivations? Number 10, the villain. Is he a villain everywhere? Which was basically, there was a story that he gave an example where Lex Luthor is a villain. And what was it? I think somehow he ends up marooned on an alien planet. And he actually, I don't know if he brings like peace or order to that alien planet. And Superman shows up for some reason, and he takes Lex Luthor off that planet to back to Earth to face justice for his crimes on Earth or something like that. But the people on the alien planet actually fought Superman because they saw Lex Luthor as the hero. So that's what he's meaning by that. It's just an interesting idea. Design a villain. Number 1, who's the hero? Number 2, heroes and villains mirror one another. So I guess, like sort of like in the story, what's that Bruce Willis movie where he has superpowers? They did like 3 of them, but he was only in 2. Breakable, was that what it was? I can't remember. It's been forever. But anyway, there's a guy named Mr. Glass or something like that, runs a comic book store. He's the villain, and he has an extremely easily breakable body, and Bruce Willis is a total opposite. Number 3, what is the backstory? What's their backstory? And number 4, develop powers in the name of the villains that reflect all of the above. And then down here we've got a bunch of other stuff. All right, so I'm taking notes. I'm learning. I gotta say though, I this book is awesome. I think it's better than Alan Moore's book. Alan Moore's book is, oh my gosh, it is something else. Most excellent buddy, Keith Harper writes, I have that book. Yes, great minds think alike. That's a great book. I enjoy reading it so far. Hang on a second. All kinds of crap. This is what I become. This is what So I'm sure many of you have seen this online. Alan Moore's Writing for Comics. Now let me show you how thick this is. Oh gosh, but I swear when you read this book, it feels like it's thicker, and not in a good way either. This was printed by Avatar Press, and basically, I didn't know this till I got it. This was like I think it was like a collection of essays that Alan Moore had written on writing comics, where he just talks about um, his thoughts about the comic book medium and that sort of thing. That's pretty much all it is. It's not really, honestly, it's not really helpful or conductive to making a comic book, which I could be wrong. There could be like some really great insights in here. But it is extremely mindfully numbing, tedious to read this, you know. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to do. I'll read a paragraph. Let's see. Should I pick a paragraph at random, or should I find the most tedious paragraph I can? All right, I'll pick this one. This one, I'll read this right here. Probably. Where am I going to stop at? Yeah, right, maybe right about here. Okay, is that all right? And I'll try my best to read it in an Alan Moore way, because honestly, when I was reading this, I couldn't read it with my normal voice or whatever. I had to read this like I was Alan Moore so I can entertain myself enough to read through this stuff. All right, let's see if I can do a decent job.
Whether for better or worse, as society as we understand it will be going through some almost incomprehensible changes during the next 40 years, assuming that the changes are survivable, and there seems little point in assuming anything else. And assuming we have a future, then we will eventually have to cope with it. The choice, to me, seems fairly straightforward. Either we ride the wave of change, or we are borne away by it. This applies to the world in general, but obviously, for our purposes, we are here applying it specifically to the area that we, as professional and non-professional comic enthusiasts, have some degree of control over. If comics are to survive, they need both to change and to become flexible enough to withstand the process of almost continual change thereafter. Changing the trappings of the comic industry isn't enough. The new printing techniques and new characters and new computer graphic facilities, none of these will make the slightest scrap of a difference unless the fundamental assumptions upon which the art form itself rests are challenged and modified to fit the times which they are were not originally designed. You can produce a comic book about bright and interesting new characters, have a computer draw it, publish it in lavish Baxter package, color it with the most sophisticated laser scan techniques available, and the chances are that it will still be tepid, barely readable shit.
But anyway, my poor impression of Alan Moore. But that's the only way you can read this. You have to read it in something that sounds somewhat like his voice. And I do not recommend this. I may change my mind. I'll have to go back through it and God, continue to read it. But I tell you what, just 36 pages into Peter David's book, I already got numerous tips and things to think about. And so there. Let's see. Keith writes, also recommend DC Comics Guide to Writing by Denny O'Neil and Words and Pictures by Brian Michael Bendis. I really like to get the Denny O'Neil one, and I'll give the Brian Michael Bendis one a go too, since you recommend it. So I guess what I'll do is whenever I finish the Peter David book, I'll probably order the Denny O'Neil one if I can find a good deal on it. I buy my books used. I'm not a stickler for new. I wasn't impressed with the Moore Riding book either. Yeah. This book is a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of false advertising. Not because Alan Moore. Alan Moore wrote this stuff back in 1985. That's when he wrote these essays, was back in 1985. And Avatar Press, basically what they did was they collected all these essays together and they put them in this comic book sized 40-something page book, and that's what it is. It's a bunch of essays. And so, to be fair to Alan Moore, he's not actually giving you a step-by-step guide on how it's done. He's just kind of rambling and giving you his insights on what he thinks about the medium in general. That's the way it comes across to me. Our most excellent friend, Robert Johnson, says, "Hey, isn't he British?" Yes, he is very British. I need to practice his accent more. So there's some accents, and what I mean by accents, I don't mean so much like a whole society's accent at large, but like particular characters. Like how some people can do Arnold Schwarzenegger and that sort of thing. I feel like I could do a fairly decent Alan Moore if I practiced it more. If I got that down. I think my Alan Moore impression kind of sounded more like someone from America that's more maybe Midwestern or highly pompously educated. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of somebody like old school, like on AMC hosting or something. Okay, let's see. Also, hey CV and everyone. Our fantastic friend NTM Comics is here and says hello to you too. All right, so I have shown you guys like 6 or 7 pages of what I've done so far with the Wildcat anthology, not including the other 28 pages or whatever that I got done. Nor, come to think of it, Robert Johnson's fantastic gray toning of the 20 pages that I did. Pretty cool stuff. I think it's really enjoy that. Anyway, I got this sketchbook out here, and I figured I'd show you a little bit of the sketchbook, and hopefully there's no phone numbers or anything in here, which I know you all won't cause nobody no grief, but there's always going to be that one oddball. You know what I mean? So anyway, I love these sketchbooks. I usually get them at Dollar General, and these art skill things. Just buy 55 sheets, and they're like a couple dollars, and I like them. So working on different ways to draw Wildcat's face, and this is kind of old already, and also just working on drawing faces in general. I look on things like on Instagram and on Pinterest, and I see stuff, and so that's pretty much where I got these 2 things here. So these actually look cool to you. I stole them. And what I mean by steal, like just basically just trying to learn, looking at what other people do, and it's like, that's really cool. And instead of just doing the usual thing, instead of like doing the usual thing where where I'm sure Ian's done it too, where you see something that looks really cool and you're like, wow, that's really cool, I want to draw like that. And then you just go on about your business. And I'm trying to make more of a habit like, okay, for now on, CB, when you see something that looks really cool, you need to sit down and then draw that, copy that. Because, how else are you going to learn that? Osmosis will only take you so far in life. Let's see here. Answer a few comments before they become aged. Sounded like Gandalf. You shall not pass. Shall not. No good at spelling at night. I use the same voice in my live stream. Bobo, come to me. Come to me, Bobo Bilgums. Falling apart. I don't know if you can tell. There's like a mixture of things going on here. Me studying J. Scott Campbell. There's a few here of me studying Mark Silvestri, maybe like 2. And then, some things just me drawing like freehand to see what comes out. What I mean by drawing by freehand, like not looking at anything, just taking what I've absorbed so far and just sitting there and trying to do my thing. This was just something that I saw, and I'm like, well, you know what? I need to get used to drawing people getting hit with power blasts and stuff. And I didn't take it super serious. I was just trying to get the concept down. Get out of here, ladybug. This ain't your house. Now, as we go further in the sketchbook, we're going to start seeing a lot of Cooper's sketches and my sketches. Me working on hands. Always room to tighten up on that stuff. Got Wildcat, not Wildcat, but I guess he is Wildcat. We got Cooper writing in some type of Cthulhu language. Cthulhu. He's writing in Cthulhu. Here's the 2 possible covers at one point for Wildcat. Man, I settled on this one, though I really do like this one. But ended up changing some things because like too much of Dr. Terror's head was obscured. So instead made him I did it even worse. I made him like teeny tiny in the background, but that's fine. I thought it was a little bit more suggestive, you know what I mean? More hands, studying some Joe Mad, looking at how he draws hands and stuff. I really like this thing that Joe Mad does and some of his oh gosh, I don't want to say copycats. That's a mean thing to say, but you know what I mean. People that draw like him. And this really cool hand fist thing. We got Cooper drawing his thing here. We got the Chibi Wildcat. The first attempt sucked. Second attempt nailed it. Third attempt, I really like the background stuff, but the face, like I guess it's the jawline maybe. Need to fix that, but oh, it looks fairly good, pretty cool. Here I am working on a little bit of shading the muscles, studying David Finch, and also studying J. Scott Campbell. Using those methods that I came up with in my 2 videos so far, the Vampire Tooth method and the Thunderbolt method for drawing women. That was on Pinterest, I think. And I don't know who the hell some of these artists are on Pinterest and stuff, other than the fact that they're awesome. And on Instagram, I just see stuff. I like it. These were a lot of cool ideas that were on Pinterest that people had kind of rendered. And I was like, wow, I like to take the skeletal idea of what they came up with and play with that. It's really cool stuff. And also, I just wanted to practice working on making things look visually interesting. Oh, you want to see my inner secrets? I have inner secrets here. Well, first of all, here's me studying John Romita Jr.'s Daredevil. I really like how he draws the on his run on Daredevil back in the '90s. How he did the backgrounds and how his compositions and layouts are awesome. And I'll probably get back to studying that later. So that's what I was doing there. Um, Here, some ideas I had for YouTube. Promote other people's YouTube channels, which is something I want to get around to. Make a Daredevil video, talking about an issue of Daredevil that I thought was pretty good. Finish the astronaut creepypasta video, which is pretty much done. I just need to edit it. Make uplifting videos, promote the positivity. Odyssey big plans for 2022. I don't even know what that means, but I wrote it down. My social media video promo. Mine's Instagram, Odyssey, Gab, Getter, and YouTube. So basically, I did make a video which I need to edit, where I just tell people to go to all those things that I have all these things that they can check out. And down here, oh look, if this ain't stalkerish, when I was doing that interview with NTM Comics, I was trying to make sure that I pronounced his name correctly. So his name is McTutus. So I wrote down Mac to Tuss. Got Oliver Tree, and Oliver Tree's a musician. So I write these little notes in here, and so that if I ever go back in these notebooks, I can look back and like, oh, Oliver Tree's that guy that makes that really interesting music. I need to go back and look at that. And we got some more Cthulhu artwork. Looks like Cooper's drawn somebody who's lost his innards in a very horrific way. Odor Numenishkan. Rise, Cthulhu, rise. Here's me playing around with, doing mixtures of Liefeld and Liefeld, somewhat Keon, and somewhat get out of here, bug. You don't live here. Keon and who else? Sebastian, Keon, Liefeld. Those three, And I have 3 lights here, honestly. And I don't know why everything's so blur, 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 blur. I got one there, one there, one there. Quit. No red tint, please. Jeez. I got a list of public domain characters that I was going to put in my universe. Me working on the Keon / Neil Adams, putting that into my artwork. I'm all over the place with this stuff, doing more of that crap. This is from like Neil Adams run on Avengers, and really good issue that he drew Ant-Man, which is phenomenally awesome. Martial art goals, which I am failing at. Here's me kind of like warming up and working out the Thunderbolt method before doing the video, instead of going in cold. Here's me working on some Stephen Platt cross hatching with mild success. Here's me studying Joe Benitez and some J. Scott Campbell and a little bit of Mike Mignola. And here's me doing some more Scott Campbell and some anime. There's this really great Korean artist that I love. I feel like his name's like Boy Cha, B-O-I, and he does really great stuff like that. And this was something else from my manga he did. And here's me trying to do things the right way, the David Finch way. More Campbell studies, but I'm kind of doing more of my own thing and not whatever. More studies. This was me attempting to study Adam Warren. You remember that guy? Fantastic Adam Warren. I first got introduced to him when I saw his miniseries that he did for Wildstorm, which was a Gen 13 miniseries. Fantastic. I recommend you guys and gals check that out. There's so many great art techniques and stuff like that in that. It's fantastic. Also, there's another great artist by the name of Adam Hughes that did a miniseries for Wildstorm that was also Gen 13. I recommend you check that out as well. So here I'm experimenting with using a brush, working on my cross hatching and my feathering with a brush, and also experimenting and working with quills or nibs or whatever, what the hell those things are called. Which brings us to this horrific mess. So I was working on like trying to study Dale Keon's cross hatching, and I used a which really, you know, I don't think I have the right size brushes and the right equipment. That's my excuse. Okay, I'm sticking to it. So I did this with a brush. I think I did this with a brush. I think so anyway. I think I may have done this stuff with those nibs, you know. And oh, it's horrific. It's really bad. Really bad. But that's what a sketchbook's for, right? You know, it's to sit down and learn, you know. I've been looking a lot at Philip Tan's cross hatching, which is phenomenal. He takes it to a whole new level. Love that stuff. Wow, we really went around the world. All right. Keith writes, I look at parkour, dance, and martial art photos for gesture drawing references. It helps loosen up. Cool. Q. That's a great tool. Also, football and runners. Our super. I really need to have like a list of like exciting words. What is awesome, fantastic buddy Josh writes, have you heard of Riot Press or seen their YouTube channel? I think I have heard of Riot Press, but I have not seen their YouTube channel. At least I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't know. Robert Johnson writes in response to that Korean artist was talking about. He says, Boichi. Yep, that's it. Boichi. I love Boichi. Boichi. He's my boy. His art is just fantastic. I just love how he renders things, how he draws people and backgrounds and everything. He's just great. I'm surprised that, you know, I don't know. Maybe more people do know about him, and I'm 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 the oddball that thinks that more people don't know about him. Let's see here. Man, oh man. Getting ready to drown. Gonna draw my little heart out. Maybe I'm gonna ink since I'm already up here. I don't know. I love this Sharpie ink pen. Why in the world I got it open already? It's not good. But I must confess, I've been using this a lot, and I'm trying to get more professional with my inks. I want everything to look tighter with my cross hatching and all this other stuff. Let's see here. God, this thing. Oh, okay. It's not dried out. Yeah, it is. This booger's dried out just about. In the future, there's going to be some things that I change about Wildcat, of course. One of the things I'm thinking about changing is like how I do his t-shirt. Like he does have a black t-shirt, mind you, but what I was thinking about doing differently is not blacking it out. Let the colorist do that, because I want to render more of his muscles and stuff like that. The only reason I black it out is because I like how it looks blacked out. And and to be honest, it just, saves me a little bit of time. I don't have to be super meticulous. Do what you will. All right, let's see here. Guess what I'm going to do. Not too worried about making these bricks like super straight. Okay. I'm glad I stopped to think about it. That'd been a mess. I still messed up, but whatever. No. Okay, think about it. Where would it be? Does it matter? No. Just going to guesstimate. This stuff right here is going to be in shadow, so it really don't matter. But I'll probably come in with a white gel pen, and I'll kind of do the outline and stuff. I just think that looks cool. And this is just to help me later on when I go use the white gel pen to see where I'm putting everything. Oosh. Ain't right. That's where I got it. You know what? It don't matter. Boom. Well, that's messed up, but whatever. I need to make a decision here. Decision time. That's one of the things I don't like about inking on the live stream, because I don't want to rush myself. I want to do quality work. But at the same time, I got to get stuff done. You know what I mean? And I think this panel pretty much looks good, in my opinion. The only thing I really don't like is this leg. It just looks weird. I've drawn it over and over again, and I just got to move on. And then the face. I'm not super thrilled with the face. Wonder if there's something different I can do with it. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can make it look better somehow. Possibly. I don't know. I guess my main you know, my main point of objection is the mouth. Ooh, okay. I like this better, sort of. Glad I did that. But now it's kind of a little bit more serious. That's not necessarily the look I want for Fish Boy. Let's see. All right, we're getting some help here. Help is on the way. Maybe push that leg out more out of the frame. So you think maybe like that? Do it like that. Let's see. The leg is too small compared to the head. Yeah, I guess so. That does look tiny. It would need to be a little bit more like that. I don't know. Draw the whole body in that pose in a quick sketch on another page so you can see what's wrong. What are you doing, Loki? You want to show everybody that I'm one of these crazy animal people? You want to show them? Look at this. Look at this. All right, let's see. Well, here, you got to get down, bud, okay? Oh. Like on, I really like how the panel turned out there. It looks more natural. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I gotta do it. Blaming you all, making me do this. I was talking a big game there, big game, but how I just need to ink it and get it over with. But here we are, dealing with this leg again. Thanks a lot, guys. Some friends you are. All right. Starting over. All right, I like this part. I think this part looks pretty good. Maybe. Cover up my EBS pen here before it dries out. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Kind of looks like RoboCop now for some reason. Let's get rid of this stuff. All right. The renders on that cat are phenomenal. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, a lot of effort in designing that cat. Yes. Just do a stick figure sketch on another piece of paper. Oh gosh. Come on, man. I want to do this. This is what I become. I say, this is what I become. This is what. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's put the pin on his head. I know it's teeny tiny. Bear with me. Okay. Let me just do like a double feeded thing. I need some paper. I need some paper. This is like the ugliest paper known to man. Do like an animator. Okay, so that's pretty much the most important parts of it there. Here. It's too long. So that wouldn't work at all. So the shoulder would be here and come out to here. I feel like that'd be like the extent as far as it would go. So this has to come down to here. That don't look right. Look better the other way, I think. Oh boy, what can of worms have we opened? Let's see. Elbow. Okay, so Okay. All right. I see. I see. I put my own hand on my face and I'm kind of looking, peeking out through my fingers. Okay. All right. So this needs to go up. All right. So Robert says, I actually think you wouldn't see that leg in the shot. That's right. His lower body drops below the gutter. You wouldn't see that leg. And Keith writes, is his right elbow on the right knee? Well, yeah, that's the way I originally done it. I wanted to have him kind of crunched up a little bit in a semi-fetal position. I wanted to have him bring his knee up because he's I wanted to kind of show him kind of recovering from his fall, and I also wanted to show him looking embarrassed. So that was kind of the idea that I had. I just don't know what to do with this other leg, even though maybe slightly bent, more elongated. Yeah, okay. Look at that. That's one sexy lady fish man boy. But what about the arm? Arm. Well, one thing I feel fairly certain on is I guess this arm needs to come up here. And from the shoulder to the bicep. And where I'm having trouble here is well, let's see here. I gotta think about this. Oh, okay. That might work if I do it like that. Okay. Switch the legs. They'll put the right arm on the left leg. Mm. Let's see here. Oh, natural. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting quiet here. I'm just thinking. I'm in deep thought. I shouldn't have. Robert, if you can you send me that photo again? I had exited out of it, thinking that I had it, and I don't know how to pull it up without exiting out of the stream by accident because I got everything broadcasted through my phone. I'm pretty happy with this so far. This part, I think. Thank you. This looks pretty good. All right, see. All right, I'm looking at it now. Let me go ahead and sketch this out what time I'm looking at it, which I've already been sketching now, but you know what I mean. All right, so well, I need to make this just a little longer. All right. Oh gosh. All right, take my time. Let's do this right. All right, right about here. Looks right. Right about there. Looks right. Better. Much better. Much better. Much better. Okay. And oh, well, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing like one of those life drawing classes. All right. Okay. I feel happy with this. Now let's see. All right. Let me get out of that and let me see how I can translate it to this panel. That's a tough pose. Yes, it is. That's the ticket. All right. Let's try this again. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so the other shoulder's here, so it needs to come up through the face. Erase this. And I had to do like some extreme foreshortening here. Let's see. And then need to bring this on down here. And the knee stops right here. And then let's bring this down here. And then release that. Well, I think that looks better. Yeah, I think that's a definite improvement. Yeah. Take the top of the knee out away from his head farther. So you think that the top of the knee should go more right here in this spot? Is that what you're thinking? Okay. You see this. That ain't work. Work like yeah. Be and the elbow comes in. Look good on. See on this, it looks good. But when I go to actually draw this part here, it goes all out of whack. Let's see. Right now, I'm taking my hand and I'm touching my face. Move out where you're indicating. At this point, you only see the top of the knee. Mysteries. Mysteries. Ugh. Oh gosh, it looks worse that way. Look at that. There we go. So I got this one where I drop the elbow. And then here, double raised. Oh, cool. I got a cheat sheet. I just used that. Oh, one of my lights died. That sucks. By the time I look at this cheat sheet, I got this really cool Energizer light, and you can take and then actually charge it, with a USB port. It's pretty cool. It's good for like 2 hours or so. And this thing goes like in 2 or 3 different settings of bright, and it's really handy. It's a handy light, and you can clamp it on anywhere. Take it with you outside. Doesn't matter. All right. I have a feeling that this is going to be the winner here. Man, this really kicked my butt. But the good thing is, this is going to look good. I think, hopefully, draw things correctly. I like how this arm's coming together. It's more lanky, like how I want it to be, instead of, all that other stuff. Yes, yes. Yes. You shall not pass on this page or this paddle. It is forbidden. Okay. Let me just make it just a little bit bigger here. All right. Our long lost friend Sideburns has been found again, and he says, "Ahoy, CB! Ahoy to you as well. You missed the world's greatest impression of Alan Moore. I've been told that it was top notch material. I'm glad that you're here. Much better. Well, thank you. You're helping to make it better. Both you and Keith walk away with tonight's coveted no prize award. Yeah, I think it looks much better as well. Feels a lot more organic, a lot more natural. No. Taking it up just a little bit more. Look to the camera. I really gotten to where I really enjoy that old what do you call it? That feathering that they used to do back when John Byrne was like doing Fantastic Four, and then there's this one guy does really uh uh really good feathering and stuff like that. Nobody really gives him credit. What the heck is his name? He did Iron Man. He did like a really well known Iron Man run back when Iron Man was a drunk in the 70s or 80s. I feel like his name is Bob something, and he also became the like the publisher of Valiant after Jim Shooter got ousted. It's not Bob Hall. Bob Hall did Shadow Man. What the heck is Bob's name? Come to me. Bob Layton, thank you. I really love how Bob Layton does feathering and does all his details, you know. And him and John Byrne actually did work together once on a might have been a Defenders or X-Men or a Hulk annual. I think it was a I feel like it's the Defenders annual. I could be wrong. And it was they did really great. He was the inker. And I really wish that Bob Layton would ink more John Byrne stuff. I think they're a good team. And anyway, I'm trying to let him in a little bit more of that old school feathering techniques into what I do, and you know, see how that works out. I've been doing that for a while. I don't know if it's caught on or not, but I've not been doing it real heavy. But I'm just still trying to figure myself out, trying to find myself. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but that's more of like an Italian thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sideburns writes, long lost. I haven't seen you in a stream in a while. Hope you're doing well. Well, like I was saying earlier, I need to have like a list wrote out of like, you know, things to say when I introduce people on the stream. You know, I don't know if it actually goes over well with people or not, but it's something I like to do. You know, like I say, like this person's fantastic or this person's awesome. This person's the miraculous one. You know, I think it's just fun, cheeky, maybe. I don't know. But sometimes my old brain malfunctions. And I couldn't think of one because I went through a lot of the usual suspects, like the amazing. I don't think I used the amazing yet. I should have said the amazing sideburns. That's what it was. As far as like, you know, I haven't streamed in a while. That's true. I just I don't want to say I got burnt out, but I've been really focused on doing this stuff. You know, I got like um I have I'm over 30 pages that I've done so far with the Wildcat Anthology. I've done 20 pages that are like an intro story, and I did like 8 pages with BW Sims, so that's 28. And when I get done with this ninja stuff, which I'm pretty close to wrapping it up, I'm just a few pages away. I'll have 12 more pages on top of that, so 12 plus 28 is uh, hmm, was that 40? Trying to do the math in my head. It's not coming to me right away. But I don't know. I've just been really focused on that, and and I kind of took a break also from streaming because like, you know, I want to entertain everybody, and I want everybody to really enjoy themselves. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, my streams are getting boring. You know, I'm not I'm not entertaining anyone. You know, nobody wants to be on a boring stream. I know I don't. I know how I am, and so I cannot do you guys that way. It's not right. And I feel like I'd been boring the last couple of times, and so I was just trying to, it's like, give everybody a break. There, I'm just going to draw his legs like that. You can't even see what I'm drawing. Maybe I should go on down a little bit. Let me lower my boom. Lower my boom. I don't know, but that's one of the reasons. And I've been really trying to grow my Odyssey channel, a little bit my YouTube channel. YouTube don't show me much love though. I don't know what YouTube's deal is. I guess really, to be fair to YouTube, it's so big now that it's real easy to get lost in the noise. But I'm doing pretty good on Odyssey. I got 72 followers, and I done that with a very short time frame. So happy about that. But I'll try to get for anyone that likes these, I'll try to get get around to streaming more. I've lost all my self-confidence. It's gone. It went out the window. All my drawing confidence is gone. Now the focus can be on the face of Fish Boy and his pain. Yes. Keith writes, what is this Odyssey you speak of? Oh boy, I'm glad that you asked. I really do need to make that social media video. Let everybody know where you can find me on all these different social medias and stuff, so I can explain it better. But all right, it is, first of all, when you go to Google it, Google is not going to really promote their competition, but it is spelled Odyssee. So spell it Odie and then C. All right, just I think that's how it's spelled, Odyssey. And what it is based off of, hopefully I'm spelling that right, off a library. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it is blockchain. It's blockchain technology. So, okay, forget about this. Let's just talk about this. Odyssey is basically the exact same thing as YouTube, but they don't go around kicking people off the platform because of this or that reason. They're a free speech platform. But the cool thing is, they're not one of these platforms that pop up where it's an echo chamber. Like, for example, on Getter and Parler, which they're like they're the Twitter knockoffs, respectfully. They're all right. Parler's pretty much dead, but Getter's the new thing, and then there's the Truth one. And you get on those, and it's just like, Biden sucks this, Biden sucks that, Trump's awesome, Democrats are eating babies, that sort of thing. And that's it's good and fine, but I just don't want to see that all day. That's all people post on those. It's just an echo chamber of politics, and it's like, I know it sounds crazy, but can't somebody show me pictures of their cats? What happened with that? Can somebody show some drawings or music or what they had for dinner? I don't know. It's like that's all people do on Getter and Parler. They just show that. So I'm like the lone nut that's actually showing comic book pages. on those. But those are like echo chambers. So that's no good. And then you got Rumble, which is a YouTube alternative, and all it is another echo chamber. It's just all they talk about on Rumble is politics. Conservative politics. And I have nothing against conservatism whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. But I like to hear a variety of opinion and a variety of content beyond politics. So, Odyssey is awesome because it's not an echo chamber. You have people that are liberal there. You have people that are conservative there, and you have people that just don't give a hoot what they are. They're just there. And the cool thing about it is, when you join, they give you Bitcoin, not actual Bitcoins, but they give you library coins, which is, digital currency. And the more you view videos and watch videos, they give you more library coins or whatever it's called. And when you get people to sign up, you get more library coins. When people watch your videos and they like it, they can actually send you library coins. You can live stream on Odyssey and receive library coins or get paid in cash. People can send you super chats on your live streams on Odyssey. You can sync your YouTube account to Odyssey, so every time you upload a YouTube video, it will send it to Odyssey, and it'll be part of your library there. And there's a good community of people on Odyssey. I'm really enjoying it. I love the layout. I like it a lot better. I love Odyssey better than YouTube. Honestly, I do. Just everything about it's great. And because it exists on a blockchain, it's harder for people to remove your videos and that sort of thing. You have a lot more control. That's, yeah. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Let's see here. Oh, blah, 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 blah. LOL. Cat pics. Indeed. That's what Parler, Getter, and probably Truth. I guess that's what it's called, Truth, or whatever, the new Trump app, and Rumble, the so-called YouTube competitor. That's what they need. They need more cats, more dogs and puppies. It's like I understand people. Politics, there is a serious side to politics. It does impact people's lives, and I understand that. I get it. I do. I have things that I'm passionate about politic wise. But if that's the whole of your life, you're going to go insane. You're not going to make it. every 4 to 8 years, when there's a new president of a different political party, you got half the country. It's going insane. Used to be in the good old days. We didn't know it was the good old days. We used to have presidents that were boring. and most people didn't know what political party they belonged to or anything. That's just how it was. Oh man. But anyway, there's more to life than politics. I agree. I mean, it's like I said, they are important, but at the same time, it's just one aspect of life. And ultimately, whether you're liberal or you're conservative, you're communist, whatever, anarchist, libertarian, whatever your political science is, most, but not all, most of the things that are happening are just beyond your control. It's all happening in Washington, D.C. I mean, that's an oversimplification. There's more to it than that, but ultimately, yeah. I'm an independent liberal person. Awesome. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. And I prefer to be happy. I agree. I don't feel any pressure here on good old CB's channel. Well, good. That's the one thing I want people to feel. I want people to feel like, you can just be you, because I don't care. I love people, even though people bring me misery. But Odyssey, man. Odyssey. If you all have not been on Odyssey yet, go get you an Odyssey account. look me up on Twitter. I'll send you a link so that way I can get some library coin. You can get some library coin. It'll work out great. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But just regardless, get you an Odyssey account, get signed up. You won't regret it. I'm telling you, it is the platform that the true blue YouTube alternative. Now, right now, BitChute is the actual true YouTube alternative at this moment because they have more users than Rumble and Odyssey. But Odyssey has a great team of developers that are working to put the thing together, and they're always updating it and adding more features. BitChute, they're not doing that. They're like way behind, and it's like, and also it's taken BitChute over a decade to get all the Nazi stuff off their homepage. Because every time you would get on the BitChute homepage, there would be something, and it very very pro-Nazi, very pro-Nazi stuff on there. And I'm not just saying that. It ain't one of these things where I'm making a claim that's talking out my butt. And it's like, come on, guys, if you want to be a real YouTube competitor, you can't have that on your homepage. I mean, I'm not saying you kick people's ideas or whatever off the platform, but like, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. They're a little bit better with their homepage than how they used to be, but man, it was bad there for a while, And they're still lagging behind, but Odyssey is primed to take over. And I think what's going to end up happening is for the next YouTube apocalypse, whenever that kicks in, and it's going to happen again, where they're going to come up with some stupid lame brain thing. It's going to hurt people's channels, and it's going to be more corporate friendly and less, you and me friendly. And then Odyssey is going to be sitting there waiting, and that's where people's going to go. Now, at first, people's going to go to Rumble, but Rumble's an echo chamber, At least right now it is. That could change in the future, but I'm a big Odyssey guy. I really like Odyssey. Let's see what we got. The most excellent one, Peter Retro Palmiotti says, working on the last page of my Wildcat story right now. Awesome. I love that. Everybody is kicking butt, taking names. And he also says, hello to everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Nazis are bad. Yes, sir, they are. I am caught up on the comments so far. I had such an ordeal drawing legs that I feel like I just want to cover up Wildcat's legs in the worst way. I just want to hide them. I just want to hide them. I don't want to look at them. Na, 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 na. Scribbling things in there. I'm doing the Todd McFarlane scribbles. Spain Comics just gots to know, Peter, are you related to the Jimmy Palmiotti? To the guy that worked on that awesome book with Amanda Connor that was called, what was it? Power Girl. I think it was called Power Girl. It was I went to a comic book store and I bought like the mini series. Well, no, it was an ongoing series, and they had all the issues like in one big pack. It was great. It works great. Tarx9 says, hello, chat. I'm glad that you're here, Tarx9. Welcome. And good to see you here. I'm glad that you've taken the time to tune in and check this out. I'm not being condescending either. Sometimes I sound like that. I don't mean to. Peter's being coy in reference to the Jimmy Palmiotti question. He says, the pro? I'm sure that's just how he wrote it too. All right. I got to get serious about these Wildcat legs. Now, I want to say one thing about the way that I'm drawing Wildcat's legs, and this is an experiment that I've been doing for the last little bit. I'm kind of doing the Savage Dragon thing where Wildcat is going to be top heavy, but like he's going to have regular legs, but they're tone muscular legs, but you know, but they're going to be skinnier than the rest of his body. Peter spills the beans. He says, yes, Jimmy is my brother. And Amanda is my sister-in-law. Really? Amanda Connor. Wow. I knew about the Jimmy thing, but the Amanda Connor thing, that's surprising. That's pretty cool. I like that. Huh. Mind blown. Keith says, heading to bed all. Have a good night. You have a good night too, and thanks for all your help and helping me out with everything and all the cool critiques and stuff, and for tuning in and stuff. You have a good night, sir. The Spank Comics says, ooh, cool. Man, this panel really turned into something, didn't it? Speaking of my art that I was talking about a while ago, I'm trying to learn to get my cross hatching down, and you know, I've been using really crappy Walmart brand brushes. I've yet to find a brush that gives me the lines that I'm wanting to make. And I've also been using the nibs that you dip in the ink and try that. And I'm not getting the results that I want to get, you know. So far, the best results I get is using, you know, stuff like this, which Cooper's left the lid off. He's destroyed it. But, you know, like microns and staplers or whatever that's pronounced, you know. But the only bad thing is, like, I don't get that cool little tapered end when you do the cross hatching, you know, where like sometimes it's got this little flat end or triangle shape at the end of it. So I'm trying to figure that stuff out. So like it's like a mystery. Right now on my computer, I got pulled up a Delkion Pitt splash page, the one where I think Pitt runs off a bunch of hunters, and he's standing there, and it's like, you know, it's like a big old splash page. And it's got all this cross hatching on it. And I've been trying to study that, and a little bit of Philip Tan, but Philip Tan takes it to a whole new level, you know. And for those just tuning in or whatever, here's here's my scribbles, my scribble scrabbles. I mean, right here you could see where I think I did these with a brush, got that effect going on, and then this might have been a brush too, or it was the nibs. I'm not for sure. But I'm really trying to get that down and figure that out, you know. And then over here is where it goes all wrong. This was all in brush right here where my thumb's at. And I think this was brush. And I was trying to work on the same kind of consistency of line flow going across, and it's hard because I was messing up. And then I think over here I was using nibs with mixed results. Like I sort of like the scritchy scratchies right here a little bit, but the bulk of it I don't. I think here I just took a regular ink pen. When I take a regular ink pen, it's fine. But I don't get that cool tapered ends that I'm looking for, Let's see. Peter writes, go over your lines twice. The second time to taper the lines. Really? So let's see here. So you're saying like I got a line here. So go over it again to do that or something? Well, it's sort of turning out that way. Yeah. Well, the other thing that I'm trying to figure out is not just the block or sharp edge, but there's like this. I can't do it with this pen, but like I can't do it anyway. That's one of the big issues, where you have a line that starts out very pointed, has a very sharp point, gets thick in the middle, and then comes out thin and pointed at the end. So thin, pointy, thick, thin, pointy. I'm trying to do that. Trying to figure out what tools I need to do to achieve that, and work on my stroke and all this other stuff. So if I'm just using markers and pens and stuff like that, then I need to go over my lines twice to taper the lines. Okay. Nice scribbles. Dale Keon Pitt is a cool comic. It is. It is. And I promise, guys, I can draw. I can draw a little bit. Here's something else I didn't show you, like a semi-abandoned project. I just kind of let it go. I may resume it later, but it's like one of these things where the payoff is probably not really worth it, because I came up with this character that I can never do anything with because it's based off of somebody else's character, and this is all just this right here. What I'm showing you now is just nothing but fan fiction, and I'd started to ink it, and I just kind of let it go, I had like 4 pages of it done. But I will say this, I will finish this, and I'll get it colored. The Star Wars cover, it's got Luke Skywalker on it, and he's standing there, and he's got his sister kind of coiled up to him, and then I think Darth Vader's here, and then there's like some TIE fighters or something like that. Well, that's what this is based off of, and the whole thing's in a kind of a hue of blue, and I think there's like a little bit of yellow in the background. And so I want to do like the exact same thing, because I thought it would look pretty cool. We'll see if I ever finish inking it, Is the most natural act. Mm-hmm. This has been the biggest episode of Show and Tell ever. Look at that. Look how crooked that is. That's as crooked as a politician. Yeah, maybe not that bad, but still. Mm-hmm. Is what I become. I say, this is what I become. This is what I'm singing LA Guns. For those not familiar with LA Guns, not that I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of like one album, pretty much. But LA Guns is where I think singer Axl Rose came from before he founded Guns N' Roses. I think that's what it was. I may have it backwards. Might have been where Slash came from. Um, but anyway, LA Guns, went on to have a career and stuff like that. They never reached the popularity of Guns N' Roses, obviously. But sometime in the '90s, what they ended up doing is they released a hardcore album. It was called LA Guns American Hardcore, and it was a great album. They had this singer that did this mixture of a little bit of the twang of the '80s singers, you know what I mean, and then more of like a Pantera type of growl, and they had these really awesome riffs, and it's a great album. You can look it up on YouTube. They got the full album. It's called LA Guns American Hardcore. American Hardcore. It's really great. And they only did. It seemed like they only did that one album, with it. Peter says Pitt is returning. Excited. I am too. But I really hope, just being a bit of a stickler here, a Debbie Downer, that when he goes to work on Pitt, if he does, that he draws more like do it like how he did the first six to seven issues of Pitt, because that's back when he was doing more of the Jim Lee cross hatching and stuff, and also when he was still doing a lot of that thick shadows, a lot of the Bernie Wrightson type stuff, which he still does Bernie Wrightson stuff, but he used to be a lot more shadow heavy back in the day. And anyway, I really hope that that he goes back to that his new way of doing things is good. But I feel like it's so slick, so sleek that he's taking out a lot of the details, and the way he renders things now, he's actually using the pencil to actually do a lot of the shading, as opposed to using cross hatching and feathering and spotting blacks to create the shadows. And because of that, if you hand that off to an inker, it just looks like a coloring book. Once you take out all the cross hatching and the feathering and stuff, it looks like a coloring book. And even as a coloring book, his stuff looks great. But I just feel like what he did in the '90s was awesome, and I wish he would go back to that. And I saw his piece that he's been doing lately. The double splash page with the Vespus and Cyberfrog. It looked great. So if he does that, I'll be happy with that. I won't complain. I wish in a hypothetical universe that I could get up with Dale Keon and actually pitch, like the next several issues of Pitt, where I think you should go with Pitt. You want to hear my Dale Keon pitch? Maybe one of you are friends with him, and you can tell him, and he can just take my idea free of charge. I just want what I would like to do is I want him to do a greatest hits of Pitt. Okay, and what I mean is, um, let's just go. Let's do a thing where we have an excuse where for some reason um, Pitt has to go back in time to change things because things have went wrong. And so he's actually going back to the 90s. His consciousness goes back to the 90s into his body. And so we get to see Pitt in the 90s with the outfit he used to have. We get to see Timmy as a kid again with his grandpa, which was also an awesome character. We get Bobby Chase and the detectives in the police station. We get the that Canadian covert ops secret team. It's got that green guy and got that Rye guy, Rye or whatever, and the sword guy, and got the guy with the bracelets that shoots stuff, and we get them back. We get the werewolf lady back, and let's do things with them. Let's explore that cast, and one of the problems with Pitt is like that they would kind of do that, but then they would just move on way beyond those characters, introduce more new characters, but they would never revisit the older characters. And I felt like there's a lot of more things we could have played with the Timmy and Pitt dynamic. And I mean, of course, introduce new characters, absolutely. But I like to see a healthy helping of going back to those old characters that he had made and doing more with them. Um, and I think we need to have Pitt living in the woods because that scenery looked really good. So let's give him a residence or something in the woods because it's cool and creepy. Let's keep Timmy living with his grandpa, and let's do something with the intergalactic menace that's trying to get Timmy. Because he's got that consciousness in him. Let's go back to that. And I feel like there's a lot of great stories that you can get out of that. And it's pretty much the same stuff that he was doing back in the 90s with the first 8 issues, give or take. Um, I just want him to go back to that. Uh, Tarex9 says, just got a big order of Cyberfrog yesterday. Really cool Cyberfrog art. Details are cool. Are you talking about the this thing that I showed? If you're referring to me, thank you. And if you're not, I'll say thank you anyway. How about that? I like that. I like Cyberfrog. I like. I don't know if you guys have seen the Cyberfrog from the first issues of Cyberfrog that EVS did back in the day, back in the 90s. But it was great stuff, and I kind of missed that art style that he had back then because it was very fun and organic. He had this thing where you could tell he was riffing off of Del Keon just a little bit, but mostly, a lot of stuff from like Todd McFarlane and artists like that. And it looked really good, and he was a great storyteller, great blah, 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 great storyteller even back then. And the way that he wrote and did Cyberfrog was just a fun comic. Um, it was more Deadpool than Deadpool was back then, in my opinion. So anyway, the newer stuff that EVS does with Cyberfrog is good too, but good in a different way. He's taken all those years of experience and all that stuff, and probably things story wise that he picked up and learned in terms of structure and stuff from Jeff Johns, I think that's his name, and applied it to Cyberfrog. So now Cyberfrog went from being this New Jersey Deadpoolish goofball character that would fight these interesting villains to like somebody that's involved in like intergalactic things more Green Lantern-ish, in terms of story and scope. So the new art's great, but the old art's great too, in my opinion. I think. What's the page? What's the page that you're drawing? Okay, I'm glad that you asked. Enough of this EVS, man. I'm the man of the hour. This is part of the Wildcat anthology. Wildcat's my character, and all my friends and stuff are coming together to help me out, and it's like 6 different creative teams, and everybody's telling their own story about Wildcat, and I wished I had more stuff out handy so you could see, but this is a double page spread, and here's Wildcat right here. I'll see if I can find a better page or something, around here laying. But anyway, he's a character that basically was kind of a bad guy a little bit back in the day, and he was so bad that his bad guy buddies went and killed him. They took him out of this world, and decades later, he comes back up out of the ground from where he was buried, and he has a rock arm, gray skin. He's got these black claws that cut through most anything. He heals really quick. A semi Wolverine ripoff, I guess. He's got pointy ears. He's got a cybernetic eye. And so, like, all these little things that make him him, there's like little mysteries of why he is the way he is. He has no memory of who he is, or where he comes from, and so he's a man on the mission to find out his past. And the thing is, like, these people come up to him all the time, and they know that he's Agent Wildcat or whatever, and he never knows if they're friend or foe. So he's always like 2 steps behind everybody, because everybody knows who he is, but he don't know who they are. And losing train of thought just a little bit. Anyway, like in this anthology, the anthology is not like a super serious thing. I kind of look at it as like a primer to introduce people to Wildcat. And after this is over, I'll start working on pages of the super serious Wildcat story I want to tell. But kind of give me an idea, there. I like that bottom panel. That's pretty killer. I like that one. This middle panel is pretty cool, though I think it could be a little bit better. It's just it's a cross hatching issue. I need to work on my cross hatching a little bit better, but came out pretty good overall. I really like this panel. I think that's pretty cool. And also in the anthology, I'm introducing another character of mine called Fish Boy. And I'm still working on how I render Fish Boy. It's a work in progress. And so once I get done with the anthology and I have more like an ongoing comic book of Wildcat, I'll change. Like, the costume will be the same, but Fish Boy's face will change just a little bit. I think I'll put a mask on him, but maybe like his semi-real face will look like this. But yeah, Fish Boy, the extraordinary Fish Boy. So there's that. Bernie Wrightson is one of my favorites. Yeah, I love him too. He's pretty cool. I kind of feel like a poser though, saying that like somebody says somebody cool, like, yeah, man, I really like Sex Pistols, The Damned, Black Flag. Oh yeah, I love those guys too, man. Yeah. I only like listen to like one or two songs of each band. But Bernie Wrightson's great. Uh, it's like, it's hard to duplicate him. These days when I try to study Bernie Wrightson stuff, I just go to either Del Keon or Kelly Jones. That's my two bigs. But somebody else that's also like a bastard son of Bernie Wrightson that nobody never thinks about is Angel Mendina. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He used to do what was that Marvel book he used to do back in the day? It wasn't quite Quasar. It was Adam Warlock. I think that's what it was. He did a bunch of those, and then he did a few Hulks, not many. And then Todd McFarlane got him. He did all those Kiss books, and he had a very short run on Spider-Man later on. That Angel Mendina, he draws like Bernie Wrightson, like the playful Bernie Wrightson. Kelly Jones is more like a direct descendant, but Bernie Wrightson, but Del Keon gets the other stuff that everybody else doesn't use. It's pretty cool. Peter says, pitch, go. I'll pitch it again. Yeah. Basically, all I want's a greatest hits of Pitt. Let's just take Pitt's consciousness, send it back in time to the 90s, have the book take place in the 90s. That's what's revisit all those cool things. Like the best example I can give is like when Jim Lee started drawing the X-Men in the 90s. Basically, that was the greatest hits. So what they did was all that stuff that John Byrne and Neil Adams did back in the gosh, I don't know what was it, the 80s and the 70s, somewhere around there. When they had they introduced the Sentinels and they had Sauron or whatever, they had Savage Land, all these things. Basically what Jim Lee did was they revisited all those things again and did a greatest hits. Even the first issue that they did of the X-Men was a modern retake of the first issue of X-Men where they fight Magneto, and Magneto's getting these nuclear warheads, but instead of him getting them from a base, he's getting them from these sunken subs or something like that. I can't remember. So I like to see Del Keaton do that with Pitt. He can introduce new stuff into it, but it's just cool to revisit all those things that made Pitt cool in the first place, in my opinion. Because after the first 8 or 9 issues, give or take, I feel like the Pitt series started going off the rails a little bit. And all the things that you liked about it, he was moving further and further away from it and going a different route. The one cool thing that I did like about the newer stuff is he had this villain that had like a big brain, and he actually had like 3 personalities, 3 brains in one skull. And Pitt was going to go kill the guy or something like that. That was a really good issue. I like that one. Tarks 9 writes, what with Pitt returning? No, that's great news. At Peter Palmiotti bought a bunch of original Pitt about a year ago, including signed ash cans. All right. Del Keon doing a lot of Comicscape work, needs to do his own book. Yeah. I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out. I think the reason he's doing a lot of Comicscape work is because he's getting paid. People's paying him left and right. And he's probably getting paid, pretty decent change, not chunk change. I don't know, whatever, to do it. And he's supposed to be drawing this monster book for EVS, so that's going to keep him occupied. and then after that, you know, maybe he might be drawing some Pitt. I know they talked about actually taking and doing a Pitt trade paperback, which is long overdue. Let me tell you something. You know, I actually have two Pitt trade paperbacks and the single issues because, you know, that's just the way I am. That's how I roll. And one of the things I hate about these boogers, I hate about these books, is this is this tacky. This actually looks semi cool, but it makes it so hard to read the font. You know, just this really tacky 90s. 90s. You know, 90s had some really cool stuff, really did. But the 90s also had a Jekyll and Hyde side to it too. And the Hyde side was the tackiness. And so this is very, very difficult, tacky looking whatever. I don't know. I don't like that. Let's see here we got this again. You know, introducing these stories. It just, I don't know. I don't think it looks that good. I think they could do it much better. Let's see here again, you know, with the first issue, we get this, and then when we flip open, we get this thing, you know. Unless you have these trades or whatever, it's kind of hard to appreciate just how I feel. You know, in my opinion, I feel like it looks kind of awful. Like the concept is cool, but the execution, I just don't feel like it works right, and it's kind of distracting. What I wish that they would have done, since I'm a bit of a know-it-all, is just use the original interior. You know, like you have the cover, right? And you remember like how I think it was like it's all black and it had the names and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah. I think that works better than what they ended up doing. I mean that looks cool. I like that. Here's something else that I got. I keep handy. Yeah. Yes, I meant your Cyber Frog art. Okay, okay. That's in reference to anybody tuning in that the thing I was drawing earlier. Sweet. Peter writes, most artists' art evolves, some for the better, some not, regardless of where he goes with the art. I'm interested in where the story of Pitt goes. I am too. Which that's not to say that if he doesn't do, which he probably won't, I think not, more than likely he's not going to go and revisit old territory. He's probably going to do something all new with Pitt. And I guarantee the new stuff is going to be cool. But for me, I guess I'm like one of those Star Wars fans that with the original trilogy and they go watch the prequels and they're like, oh, these are awful because they're not a continuation of Han, Luke, and Leia, and you know, or whatever. But I love the prequels, by the way. They're good. I guess I'm one of those now. That's what I am. Wow, nice double page art gives a 90s feel, which it is. Oh, thank you. I love the 90s. I'm all about it. I really like Tom Selleck Samurai. I do too. I need to come up with a name for him, you know. I keep getting distracted. You know, I've not inked diddly squat. I've I've done terrible here. If I was inker, I'd be fired. I would, because you know, definitely because my inability. Look at this old dried out thing. You know what this actually is? This is I got these for free. These are things that you're supposed to mark money with to see if it's fake or real. And the company that made it accidentally took their black markers and mislabeled them. You know, this is supposed to be like I know you can't see, but trust me, it says True Red right there. It's not. I think this is the one that works. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't care with what I ink with for the most part, you know, because after I scan them, um, you know, that's what counts for me. It's once they're scanned, because then they get cleaned up, brightened, darkened, all that stuff, you know. Some people don't like to use like permanent markers and all these different types of things because they yellow. But I'm not really against that because you know, right now at this point in my career, my art's not that great to begin with, and also um like I said, it's gonna end up scanned anyway, so that the colorist, letterers, or me can do their thing, you know. Lol, laugh out loud. At Peter Palmiotti, yes, would like to see where Dell would take the story of Pitt. He seems to be enjoying where he's at right now, so hopefully he will have the compassion. Bernie's work on Spider-Man Hooky graphic novel, Hulk and Thing, was a fun read. I really like his art on the Hulk and Thing. I think because I've tried to study where the heck did Dale Keon get his chops from. You know, I see the John Byrne a little bit, and I see Bernie Wrightston, but I also see something that looks like Neil Adams. But I know that in the '90s he did study. You know, what do you call those people that are knockoff of somebody else? But that's not the right way to say it because it's disrespectful. Influenced. And I'm not saying that I'm original, okay? Because I'm a knockoff too. Or I really, honestly, I need to be a knockoff so I'd be more consistent. But Alan Davis, he did study Alan Davis in the '90s, and you can see that on his Hulk stuff, and you can see that a little bit on Pitt. But he started moving away from Alan Davis and embracing more of Jim Lee in terms of the details and stuff. Bought Dell's cyber fraud cards. I like to get his Pitt cards. I got a few of those back in the day, but oh, I love to get my hands on get like all the different sets of the Spider-Man cards that came out in the '90s. Those were awesome. Those are great. Original Pitt trade paperbacks, nice, but know what you're saying. I have 390 Spawn trade paperbacks. So they do that stuff in those too. Just call him Tom Selleck Samurai, the TSS 1000. I thought about like having like either Wildcat or Fish Boy actually refer to him as Tom Selleck Samurai. You know, thought that'd be a cool, a playful thing. My dog and arm looks like it's broke, but that's okay. It could be. It might be. I'm just kind of going over this, darkening more. Here lately, you know, I just been going and just inking with reckless abandon, you know. And what I mean is like not really having everything drawed, but what ends up happening is when I go to ink it, because I don't have everything drawed and I can tell that it's going the wrong direction, I panic. I panic and end up having to, actually take the time and draw it. So I'm trying to draw as much as I can of him before I go and ink him, so that way that there's no problems when I go to ink it, which is how it should be done in the first place. But there's some stuff where I can just go and like this rubble here. I know when I go to ink it, I want to add more details and it's going to look good, or maybe not good, but decent. It's going to look decent. So there's, some stuff that I don't have to really worry about penciling in detail, but there's other things that I do need to take the proper care and love for. All right, let's see. This is supposed to be a garbage can, by the way, but or dumpster dumpster can. I don't know. Would help if I zoomed in a little bit more instead of being like 20 miles away. Uh, let's see. How about Tom Shalleck, Samurai? Kind of sounds like the way not James Bond, but Sean Connery, how he pronounced it. Tom Shalleck, Samurai. Ask me how many I give, Samurai. Ask me how many I give. I give this many. That's how many I got to give. Tom Shalleck, Samurai. Shellac, like shellacking. Yes, influence, but every artist or writer are influenced by someone they really care about, which is a good thing. Artists adding their style. I agree. I agree. I'm just being crude. Crude. Peter writes, I heard Jim Lee, Todd, Mark, and all were influenced by the 80s and 90s Michael's golden work. Look at Micronauts' work and wonderful work. Nam, too. I love the Nam stuff. At first, let's see. I think he only did like 12 issues of it, even though it continued on. But those first 12 issues or 14 issues, great stuff. And I'd actually like to see. I think Larry Hama might have wrote those. I'd like to see Larry Hama and Michael Golden go back and do that again, but like do it for like Image or some publisher like that. And because they did the work for Marvel and they had to kind of edit some of the things they put in it, because I think if it was Larry Hama, one of the things he wanted to do with the Nam book was like give a true portrayal of kind of what it was like to be in Vietnam. But he had to kind of censor himself a lot of times because it was for Marvel. So I'd love to see him and Michael Golden go back and do that again, but like you do a different platoon or something like that, and tell it the way that they would really want to tell it on uncensored. And I think that would be a big hit. I think that would go over like gravy on biscuits. It'd be good. But I will say this, I think one of the big influences that Jim and Todd and Rob Liefeld, a lot of them, like everybody was copying Arthur Adams. Because Arthur Adams would only turn out like one or two books a year, and so basically they just gave everybody more Arthur Adams every month. Yes, Michael Golden, amazing artist, like his work on Bucky O'Hare. Oh, I forgot about that. I have one of Michael Art's books. I think that Tom should have that voice you just did. Oh, so basically, yeah, just give him kind of like a poor man's Sean Connery voice. You're going to pay for what you have done, Wildcat. You have slept with my life, and for that, you have dishonored me. And with the Yakuza clan and the suicide samurai chainsaw ninjas, we will saw you down and bring death upon your house. Tom Shellick, samurai, has spoken. I promise, guys, I can usually ink way faster than this, but I think it's just one of these things where I'm kind of talking and chewing bubble gum at the same time. And also, I'm trying to do a good job. This is my poor man's attempt at doing that Mike Manola thing where he would do heavy blacks on top, and then he would just kind of, you know, do something like that. Where I think I'll cross hatch it just a little bit to blend it, even though it's looking like a car wreck. Not too bad. Let's see. Alrighty. You know, one of the things I want to work on, and sometime in the future, near future, I'll probably go and study John Romita Jr.'s run on Daredevil and really work on my buildings, try to get those down a little bit more and make them more realistic with the you know, a lot of the features that you see on city buildings, that sort of thing. Um, I think we come near the end of the video, and I think I'll say a couple quick goodbyes before we go, and because I want to go knick-knack on something. I was thinking about playing some Fortnite. I got addicted to that. My son downloaded it. Now I'm the one that plays it. Yeah, there it is. Confessions. I want to say thank you to my good buddy Robert Johnston, and also Keith Harper for helping me and assisting me with their critiques and stuff like that. And also Peter for giving me some inking tips, things to play around with. And for everyone, for your conversation and your good fodder and even your voyeurism, even if you didn't say anything, you just sat there and watched in horror as I tried to ink and draw this turd. Really appreciate it. And, you know, I do read each and every single one of your comments. So anybody that watches the replay, got anything to say, just leave it down in the comments down below, and I'll eventually, you know, get around to you. And also, I'll try to do some more sketching past midnights. I'm just, you know, like I said, I just not so much disenfranchised. I just want to make sure I do entertaining videos for y'all because I don't want to bore you to tears. A lot of my plans that I wanted to do have not kind of panned out just yet. So I'm working on that. And I'm also trying to grow my Odyssey, my YouTube channel. And check me out on Odyssey. And, you know, and I just want to encourage you all that, you know, whatever projects you're working on, keep working. you know. I know sometimes it can be a thankless endeavor, but you know, the world needs to see what you all make, you know. And if you just don't make anything, that's okay. You'll make something. Maybe just give everybody hugs and kisses. That's good enough. But regardless, as I usually in these videos, I just want to spread the love. I just want to remind you to be the tide that rises all ships, to be the change that you want to see. And if righteousness be on your side, I truly believe that when great obstacles come your way, mighty forces will come to your aid. Carpe diem, my friends. And until next time, I will see yuns in the next video. Cue the commercials.
Well, hello everyone, this is CB Smallwood, and I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you want to support this channel, then please head on over to newempirecomics.com. Again, that is newempirecomics.com. And the most important thing that you can do right now, other than hitting like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, is do this. Click on the Join the Mailing List button so that you'll be the first to know when our comics are being crowdfunded, exclusive free goodies, news, and more. You also can click it here, which will take you to the mailing list sign up. Just put in your name, your email, hit subscribe, and you are done. So if you want to be notified when I launch a crowdfunder, or whenever I'm giving away something for free, which I may do on occasion, this is the way to go. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you for your support.